Let me take you back to October the 24th of 2022, a day that will live in infamy. That was the day, of course, that Android 12, or more specifically Android 12L, was released for Microsoft's Surface Duo and Surface Duo 2. It finally rolled out. People like myself installed it and were immediately pleasantly surprised by what we were looking at. The visual overhaul was fairly substantial. The device seemed as smooth as ever. There were new features, and honestly, it felt like the Surface Duo community was riding about as high as it had ever been riding. This device was maturing. It was coming into its own. It was finding itself. And we were all really, really excited and really, really pleased. And in fact, in the days after that update came out, I put out a poll, or actually, I believe a couple of polls, to ask you guys, did this update live up to those lofty expectations, right? This thing had been coming for so long. How could it possibly live up to expectations? So I asked you guys, did it? And your answer was a resounding yes. For the most part, people felt like this thing lived up to expectations and things were going really well. But then something horrible happened. Something very, very bad and no good began to occur. Bugs started popping up, and not just minor bugs. Some pretty big problems started appearing 7 to 10 days after the update had been pushed out, which was very strange, and it is strange and mysterious to me. To this day, I do not understand how this update could have been responsible for things that happened 10 days after the update came out. Who knows? I'm not going to get into that part, but people started having problems making and receiving phone calls, sending text messages, notifications would just stop coming in. I documented this stuff thoroughly. I'm not going to go super deep into it now, but suddenly we went from the highest of heights that the Duo community had ever experienced to an absolute whiplash, dropping to some of the lowest of lows. And some of that was because, we were riding so high, and then this just kind of crashed us down. And it really felt like doom and gloom was hanging over the Surface Duo community. Now, since that, a lot of things have changed, right? People reported that maybe 2 weeks after those bugs started, or maybe a week or so after those bugs started, for a lot of people, they just went away on their own. People like myself did all kinds of crazy things trying to make them go away, and who knows if any of it worked or not. But I can tell you that loads of you have commented and said, my bugs just went away. They just went away on their own. Microsoft put out an update saying they'd patch some things to do with calling issues, but by then everyone had pretty much said their calling issues were gone already. So that was really weird. And since then, things have kind of cruised along rather quietly. Okay, some time has gone by, a couple of months has gone by, and like I said, things have quietly improved. So what I wanted to do, and I did this a couple days ago, I put out a poll. And I said, in the days after the 12L update hit Duo, things went from great to very bad. Now that the dust has settled, how would you rate your day-to-day experience with the device? 5 being the perfect phone, 1 being totally unusable. And I said there's 2 versions. This is the Surface Duo 1 version of the poll. Now let's look at these results. Nearly 500 votes, and the vast majority of people voted a 4 out of 5. So 1 step below the perfect phone. A few people voted 5, a lot of people voted 3, but the majority of people were pretty positive, and very, very few people really were in trouble with this device. 500 votes. Most people feeling very good about Surface Duo 1. This is a crazy turnaround from where we were 2 months ago, where we had that whiplash moment. And this is very, very good to see. Now, I did the exact same thing with Duo 2. What you will find here with another 465 votes, that the results are nearly identical, right? The majority of people, 3, 4, and 5, with 4 having almost half of the votes. So once again, Surface Duo 2 users have experienced quite the turnaround as well. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people will tell you, I'm sure in these comments, I never had any problems after the 12L update. This wasn't everyone having issues, but it was a large percentage. I think my polling indicated like 30% of people or something like that were having significant issues. So now I think you can tell from these numbers, though, is that 30% having significant issues that I think would have voted lower than 3, probably 2 or 1. I would have probably voted as like a 2 with the issues I was having, and now I would be probably a 4. That is illustrated in these poll results. Yes, we had some major issues after 12L, but they were resolved, honestly, fairly quickly, right? They popped up, and within a week, a lot of people's were going away. We didn't actually know where they even came from. It could have been a third-party app update. It could have been the Play services. It could have been carrier services. We have no idea what happened, but it was resolved relatively quickly, and now I will posit to you that Surface Duo community, we are once again riding quite high. We are once again in a really, really good place. Now, the bad news is that ordeal was rather public, okay? I talked about it on the internet, on Twitter. A lot of people saw it, and you know, I had to do that because I have to be honest with you guys. I can't talk about this device and then ignore it when something terrible happens, and something terrible did happen. So unfortunately, people are going to gravitate towards the negative. Oh man, Duo and Duo 2, absolute garbage. Look at these problems. But I'm here to tell you, let's elevate this. Let's boost this story as well. Things are better. Things are actually very, very good for Duo and Duo 2. My day-to-day complaints with my Surface Duo 2 that my SIM is currently back in again. I had my Fold 4 as my main phone for about a week and a half, and I'm back on Duo 2 now for the last, I think, about a week now. It's great, okay? Like, I switched to this thing, and there's nothing about my Z Fold 4 that I'm, like, really, really missing. I do probably, the camera is probably the biggest thing I'm missing, just the ease of use, the snappiness, the quickness of the camera, and the reliability of it is not quite there on Duo 2. But other than that, I don't miss anything about my Z Fold 4, and in fact, I absolutely still just adore having a dual screen device, and Duo 2 is flat out awesome for me right now. Like I said, I'd probably vote it as a 4. So guys, I don't really have an overall point to this video. I just wanted to kind of put this out there because I did put out the negative stuff, right, when things went bad, but I want to be able to tell you guys as well when things are going really well again. So for those that are wondering, where are we after the 12L debacle? Where are we, guys? Well, we're in a really good place once again, and hopefully, you know, look, Android 12L was really buggy. Not just 12L, I should say. Android 12 was really buggy for, like, everyone, right? Like, when the Pixels got 12, it was super duper buggy. Go back and look at the headlines. OnePlus, super, super buggy. Lots of OEMs released really buggy versions of 12 that didn't get fixed for a long time. Microsoft's got fixed in less than a month, let's say 2-3 weeks. And now, hopefully, that bugginess is behind us as we head towards Android 13, which has not had the same problems that 12 did. So spread the news, spread the word. All is good on Surface Duo Island. Guys, hit that subscribe button before you go so you don't miss out on more content like this if you found this enjoyable. Anyways, if you didn't, well, maybe don't subscribe because why would you want to watch more of something that you did not enjoy? Go be happy. Don't watch content that you don't like. Guys, let's see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.